I have a little something I'm going to say to you.
Wow.
It's actually the latest Tales of the Kibbutzim. What?
Only in Hebrew.
Tales of the Kibbutzim. It's the latest Tales of the Kibbutzim Kishka. Turning 80. Soon I turn 80 and I'm alive. The secret to being 80 is to work and play like you're 40 and be with family and friends. It is said that when you turn 70, the parts start to fall apart. But I have been traipsing around the world like a teenager.
Slowly, Morty, slowly, we're slow.
Slow, okay. And now in Hebrew. Soon I turn 80. I say this is God's way of telling us that we're alive to have a party like this. So where do we come from? And where are we heading? Which is why I always recommend that you go by your gut feeling. The rational mind is not what fuels behavior. Alan Wheeler, in his book, The Quest for Identity, comments that when you choose a spouse or a career at a young age, by the time you get there, the career is not what you thought it was, and you are not who you are when you made the choice. Where did I come from? My mother's father, a baker for the poor, died in a pogrom in Belarus, leaving 7 daughters and a son. Miraculously, they came to Toronto. A rich man said to my Aunt Sarah, he said, "Forget your family and marry me." And she looked at him and she said, "I will forget you first." I was the youngest of my cousins. When my mother took my sister and I to Toronto from New York, we were treated like visiting royalty. If you ever can be loved too much, then that is the story of my life. A loving mother, a sweet older sister, a hardworking disabled father, loving wife, and children and grandchildren. Benefiting from their toil, I became a physician. Now I am treating the very poor who have been abused, not had loving parents, been homeless, abandoned, and God knows what else. Can you truly help someone who has repeatedly been hit by the trucks of life? Yes, it is never too late to offer kind, loving care, to say there can be light at the end of the tunnel, to balance the sense of hopelessness with the sense of hope. What did I become? I made the choice to be a doctor as a way to get out of poverty. When I became a psychiatrist, a psychoanalyst, it was the God. The mental health industry is like a fashion industry, and right now biology is the God. But I ended up treating the idle rich and the worried well, and now I'm seeing people with real problems. So where am I heading? And this is a dialogue I have with Shachaya and Adam and Rebecca and Marilyn. What is the soul? The Torah says there are 2 souls. One godly, and the other an animal like the reptilian brain that leads to evil behavior. Does it exist from the body, away from the body? When we die, do we reunite with our lost loved ones, or do they live on in our behavior? I often think of my afterlife as an MGM movie. My parents are in heaven now playing Gin Rummer and looking down at me and saying, "Not bad, Morty." So you know, they say, what are your words of wisdom when you're 80? And my words of wisdom is, number 1, I don't know too much. But what I know is the essence of life, I think, is relationships. And the beauty of being in Jerusalem, I mean, I've met everybody here in the last 4.5 years. It's amazing. Of course, hardly anybody here is really Israeli. And what's amazing is our friends, Yaakov and Snunit and the Haris, they came as poor Berkeley students years ago, and we took them off the street. They didn't have homeless in those days.
It's more or less true.
And now they're successful Israelis taking care of us. So thank you, and who knows when we meet again. My 90th in heaven, or God knows where.